You are now entering Strange Darkness Radio's bonus episode, a show that's been a long time coming, perhaps too long. But some stories refuse to stay buried, and the spirits of Auburn have been waiting. Tonight, Bobby Washington and Marlee Grounds walk the haunted streets of Auburn, California, a town born in the gold-fueled madness of 1848. Once the final outpost before the vast wilderness, Auburn was a place of promise and punishment. Its history is soaked in ash and blood, fires, shootouts, betrayal, and one chilling murder that shocked the nation. The name Adolf Weber still haunts these hills, and the echoes of his crime change more than just the town. They change the law itself. Through the hushed corridors of the courthouse, the darkened fire station, and alleys heavy with silence, Bobby and Marlee chase whispers from the other side. Locals still speak of cold touches in the dark, phantom footsteps, and the feeling of being watched by something that never left. So dim the lights. Open your senses and take that step into the shadows, because this is Strange Darkness Radio, where history isn't just remembered, it remembers you.
Yes, it's finally here, the Ghost Tour. Welcome, Marlee.
It's here. Welcome, Bobby. Thank you for having me back.
What do you mean? Thanks for being back. I'm always trying to get you back. So
I know.
No, definitely. Well, welcome back, and thanks for being back. And tonight, Marlee, what are we doing? This is so long. This show has been sitting forever, and I'm glad we're actually getting to it. So what is tonight?
So we are going to be talking about historic Auburn, California, and their ghost tour and the spirits that walk their streets.
Yes. So, Marlee, I don't even remember how we met, really, technically. But one of the stories that you told me about, because I was like, do you go on ghost hunts? Have you ever, did any of that stuff? You're like, yeah. I went to old Auburn, me and my friend, and you sent me a picture of you and your friend sitting on a stoop. In
the
Auburn.
Stairs to Nowhere, which we'll talk about.
Okay, yeah, for sure, for sure. So so we finally ended up going. Amy did attend with us for that, and it was really cool. I mean, just because you walk Auburn, and they have guides that take you through the town, and then there are actors. Go ahead. I'll let you tell it.
Oh, it's okay. No, then there's actors portraying the ghosts that they're talking about and giving their stories. So it's not like a normal ghost tour where you have like a tour guide and you're walking through parts of the area and they're just talking about things. We went on another ghost tour, Bobby, Amy, and I, in Old Sac, which we'll talk about that one on another episode.
Yeah.
And that was more of the traditional tour where they're just kind of going through talking about the area. This is actually actors portraying these spirits and telling their story. And every year it's different. I mean, they have some pretty core spirits that they have actors play, and then from year to year it changes. But I mean, honestly, there's so many to choose from because it's an old mining town with lots of tragedies. So there's spirits everywhere.
Exactly. And I will put up some of that footage on YouTube when this episode goes up, just so you guys can see some of the tour, because it was extremely done well. Mm-hmm. I mean, from the carriages, they have out there to carry the bodies to their resting place and all that good stuff. It is creepy, but it is something that, was normal at that time. And it's just incredible. The items even that we went to.
In the tour or the museum.
Yeah. Exactly, that they used to use. I'm going to post some of those photos also. But so let's get into the background of Auburn. Do you want me to talk a little bit about it, or you? I mean, because again, this is your thing.
Whatever you want to do.
No, you go for it.
I have all my notes. Okay. So if you don't know anything about Auburn, it is outside of Sacramento. It is an old mining town. They struck gold, I believe, in 1848. That was the first sign of it. It became an actual mining town and was sustainable because of its location. It's one of the last stops from Sacramento up into kind of the mining camps in the Sierras where you can still take at that time, a cart and horse. So once you get past Auburn, it was pretty difficult. So it was kind of the last trading post stop. So that actually made it a sustainable town, even when the gold dried up. It was also a stop on the Central Pacific Railroad. They got their stop in 1865. So that brought a lot more people to the area as well. Just in terms of the history of the actual town, their current courthouse that they use, and they use this for Placer County courts and court hearings. It was the original, not the original courthouse, but it's been a courthouse since 1898. It wasn't the original. This is the new one. It's 3 stories. It's beautiful, honestly. But at that time, it was the courthouse, the jail, the sheriff's office, and they hung people out in front. And there was a cemetery, I think, where the parking lot is now. Like I said, they had hangings, they had bullfights, they had bear fights. It was, quintessential California gold rush times. Yeah. One caveat is, like I said, they had the cemetery out in the parking lot where it is now. They actually dug it up and moved it across the current freeway. Obviously, there wasn't a freeway then. But there's a little bit of speculation if they took all the bodies, because in like 1911, they were digging for a water main and they found some skeletons. So did they move all the bodies and put them in the new cemetery, or did they just move the headstones? Did they take some, not all? So, I mean, it could be, that's why it's a place, because, people are separated from, their final resting place. So
yeah.
We've always wanted to go to the new cemetery. We just haven't been there yet, because there's some pretty historic headstones in there. But it's across the freeway now. And pretty much a lot of the buildings there, while they've had some tragedies and they've burned down and been rebuilt, a lot of them are kind of the building that was standing, Commercial Street, which is kind of off of where the courthouse is. A lot of those are original buildings. There's a tattoo parlor. It used to be called Crimson Tattoo. I don't know what it's called now. Mm-hmm. That used to be the mortuary. I mean, it has a whole cellar in the bottom where they used to put the bodies and prepare them. So
we have to try to get into that area.
We'll pay for a tattoo and a piercing if you let us go into your cellar.
Hey,
and
we'll run a commercial for you.
Yeah.
Just let us spend 6 hours from 12 a.m. until 6 a.m.
Let us have a sleepover in your tattoo parlor.
Exactly.
So it's got a lot of history, and as we go through the different things that have happened and the different spirits that are wandering, you'll see, there's a lot of tragedy that came with these mining towns, and kind of I don't want to say it was like the Wild West, because it wasn't, but, shootouts in the street and things like that. Yeah. I mean, it kind of is. So.
Yep. And to this day, there are things that go on in these shops and locations that people experience. So it is active.
Very active, yeah.
It is active. So with that being said, just on the town alone, would you roam the streets at night just to see?
100%.
100%? Okay.
You know me. Okay. I'm always down for something.
Okay, I'll remember that when it's time to do some investigations.
Hey, I'm down. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what's next?
Do you want to get into some of the key spirits?
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Okay. So, we're gonna go through several. I've been on the tour twice now. Like Bobby was saying, it's really well done. I think everybody that actually do, which is fabulous, because they put on a lot. They have, food and drinks there. They have it set up. It only does happen in October, kind of around Halloween, only a couple weekends and things like that. So it's not an active tour that you can just go on at any time. and it typically
you're
sells out
cutting
well. So,
out a lot, Marley.
oh, am I?
I don't know why, but it's the Zoom gods. Who knows?
Oh
Before I would say
gosh.
the Skype gods, but that's the way it works. So just FYI on that, and which you don't know because you can't hear yourself. But
Got it.
it's so interesting. I'm surprised. People don't do, because again, it's so detailed and there's a lot of people involved in it, that people don't do like tours on their own, like other locations to where, you just, like, hey, Craigslist, we're having a tour on whatever, meetups or whatever it's called. And people just don't set that up and periodically do tours because it is so much history and it's all really close. It's really a small
Yeah, it's
area.
all close walking distance. It's like a small loop, like very small, and we saw so much. So, I guess the first spirit we'll go into, or historical figure, is George Stevens. I think he built the American Hotel, which was kind of a prominent establishment back in the day. It's now the Auburn Ale House. So if you go there, it's a brewery.
Nice.
We actually, that's where we ate when we went there and walked around.
Okay.
So that was the American Hotel.
Oh, nice.
So it did burn down in 1905, and then was rebuilt, obviously, but it wasn't the hotel. And George actually died in the hotel in 1882 by taking morphine. So he's kind of said to be, that's his place. And, I'm sure he didn't do, even though he'd already been passed, I'm sure he didn't do well with, the hotel burning down and then, no longer being the American Hotel. So, that was something he started. So, yeah. I don't know. Anything else?
No, that's
on George?
No, that's pretty much it on him. But I will definitely tip my hat if we ever go back to that location, or that. The food was really good. I really did like.
And I didn't tell you it was, haunted when we were there.
Yeah.
No.
And it was packed. I mean, Auburn, a lot of people frequent Auburn.
Yeah. And when you think about Auburn, if you have any idea of it, it's Old Town, downtown Auburn. So it's a very small area.
Yeah. Lots
of little shops, restaurants, bars, breweries, really close. It gets pretty packed, people kind of being out and about. So we can also talk about the Cohens. There's, I guess I would say, 3 spirits within that family. So Leroy Cohen was the jailer. His wife was Maggie, and they had a son named Leroy Jr. So the courthouse where Leroy was 3 stories, and they did not have really any modern stairs. Their stairs were like a spiral staircase. And it was very rickety. It's actually still there, I believe, but you can't go on it. It's a hazard.
Yeah.
So Leroy was at work. Leroy Jr. was walking around. I think he was about 3, bouncing his ball in the hallway. He was going up the staircase and he fell through glass down 22 feet and passed away. So it was pretty hard on Leroy and Maggie. And the people that frequent the courthouse at night or quiet times, they say they still hear little footsteps, a bouncing ball on the 2nd floor. And they've even seen, because in the bottom of the courthouse, it's kind of a museum. So they have like glass cases. They will see little teeny handprints. So they really think that Leroy Jr. is there and, still walking around, bouncing his ball and touching the display cases and things like that. So, and, more than one person has said they've heard these footsteps at night or a bouncy ball bouncing. And that's not something, you're going to expect in a courthouse at night.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that courthouse was pretty creepy. That is where they had all the displays and the coffins that you actually got in, or I actually got into. Jesus, I can't even get that. But
peer pressure.
Exactly. But yeah, it has a creepy vibe to it for sure.
Yeah, it's
And
just
it's
there's
still
something
active.
in the air.
It's still active. They use
Yeah,
it to this day.
yeah. There's still courtrooms in there. I mean, we walked by, like, there's the metal detectors to go through, like you go through in a regular courthouse, and you know, it's it's still there. And one, I think I'll share the picture with you, but I think I showed you this before.
Hmm.
In one of the previous tours, when Maggie Cohen, the actor, was giving kind of her spiel, somebody took a picture, and the way the shadows and the light was where she was in the courthouse, it looks like there's a little boy on the ground. Like
Wow.
so, and it's nothing that can be like, oh yeah, there's a shadow of this and the
Yeah.
light was there, but like it's pretty stark. Like somebody took it and posted on the Ghost Tour Facebook page, and I was just like, oh my God,
Mm,
little Leroy was there. Like, so
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty interesting.
You're gonna be mad. I haven't gone through all the photos, so
Oh,
I need to go through all the photos because we could have caught
we
something,
could,
and it's been almost
that is
over.
true. That is
Yeah,
true. And
it's
that
been
was,
a
we
month.
tried to record, right? And it wasn't working.
Yeah, we were trying to do the
Yeah.
audio. The dongle wasn't working for you guys' lapel mics, but
Yeah. So, I mean, it was you had the Ray-Ban glasses on though.
oh yeah, we have a ton of footage.
So, we had a lot. Um, so another spirit that they've discussed was Thomas Stevens. So his home was on top of the stairs to nowhere, which was one of the first pictures I shared with Bobby of me and my friend that went on the ghost tour. So there's a picture of us sitting on the stairs to nowhere. It's literally just kind of like a hill, and there's concrete stairs and nothing above it.
Yeah.
And that was his house up there. He was the general store owner in town. His wife ended up with cancer. And they think she might haunt the Ragged Glory store, which is a store in town. Um, and then unfortunately, he ended up dying in the outhouse. So he didn't really have a, remarkable death. It's,
Yeah.
you know, so, but the stairs to nowhere, that's where his house was. So those are pretty prominent because as you're walking down the sidewalk, there's buildings, and then all of a sudden there's stairs that just end, and then you keep going, and then there's another building.
Yeah. I wonder
So
why they didn't build a
move
new home on that property or a building.
or take the stairs out.
Yeah, exactly. Or
I know
that.
it's
Yeah.
weird, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
wonder
I
what's
mean,
the story.
it's a piece of history, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
what's going on there?
Do a
So,
little campground right there at the top.
oh, I know. Like, we're just looking for the ghost. Don't mind us.
Oh man.
So another spirit that is she's pretty famous is Alma Bell. And we'll talk about some others that are kind of related to her and her story. So her dad died when she was 10. And we'll talk about him. She ended up working for a family in Newcastle. And she fell in love with Mrs. Armis's son, Joe. Um, I don't know if it was mutual, Armistice story. So um, they ended up getting engaged, and Joe broke it off, but she was not happy about that. So she went back to Armis Ranch looking for Joe, and she shot him with his own gun.
Wow.
She hid under a bush, and then she got arrested and went to jail. But it was pretty prominent because it was all the way in like the newspapers in San Francisco. And they spent like a lot of money looking for a jury. And eventually she was acquitted for temporary insanity. So
What was it? Love? I mean, like, or
broken heart,
broken
temporary
heart?
insanity,
I guess.
So she's always on the tour. But yeah, that's an interesting one, to go back and kill a man with his own gun and
Yeah.
then get off acquitted. So Her mom, Joe's mom will also be on the tour occasionally, Mrs. Armis. She talks about hiring Alma as a servant because her husband had died and she had 8 children to take care of and she needed
Wow.
help. So that was what Alma's job was. But then Alma, started fancying Joe and went off on that and killed him. So, um, and then Alma's father is Alexander Owens Bell. They call him Pike Bell. He's or their family's originally from Missouri. Him and his wife got married and they came out to Auburn. They had like 12 children, but they lost 4 of them in an epidemic. I think by the end, there was only 6 surviving. And like I said, he died when Alma was 10, but he was one of the more prominent miners in the town. He was pretty successful with, his gold claim or his claims and things like that. He found a lot. I'd want to be around to see Alma, going to jail, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then we have some lawmen that, some sheriffs and things like that that are roaming around. There's Frank, is it Deppendale? So he was known as Big Dip. He was 6'7", and he was shot in his career over 7 times, cut over 20 times, and he was one of the prominent law people that investigated Adolf Weber, who we'll talk about later. So they had some pretty substantial and well-known law people in Auburn. Another one was John Boggs.
Oh, you're just gonna go past Big Dip that quick? No,
what else do you want to talk about with Big Dip?
you and Amy fawning over Big Dip. That was hilarious.
No, that was Rattlesnake Dick.
Was that
him later?
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
Yeah,
that was Rattlesnake. What was his name?
Dick. Rattlesnake.
Okay,
Dick.
That's why I got the dip and the dick confused.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not
okay.
Not
Because
Frank.
this guy was 6'7" by himself. I mean, this Big Dip was 6'7", so that's why I thought it was.
No.
Mr. Yeah, we won't say his last name. But anyways.
Amy and I got pictures with that. But,
yeah, that's hilarious.
That wasn't his real last name. We'll get to that.
No, I know, but I'll post that pic too, so you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Anyways.
I was fawning over him. I don't know about Amy. It was me.
Yeah, she was. No, she was.
Another prominent lawman was John Boggs. He was, I think, sheriff or some part of the law for almost 30 years. So he was pretty prominent in the town. And he's the one that actually set up the ambush for Rattlesnake Dick. And where he came to his demise, which we'll talk about. But that was probably one of the biggest things in his career was, getting him. But a lot of their law people had a lot of years of service, so they saw a lot there.
Yeah, especially for that area and what they were doing with the gold miners, people stealing gold and everything else. So
yeah. And then another prominent figure is the Fire Queen. That's Emily. I think her birth name is Emily Edwards. She became Emily Caseman. She was born in Virginia originally back in like 1825. There was speculation that she was either a quarter or a half black, which apparently she hid well because nobody seemed to think anything of it.
Yeah.
She was passing, obviously. In like 1850, she had a saloon and brothel in San Francisco. She married Hugh Caseman, and then she was actually involved in a positive way in a fire in the neighborhood. Like, she was so, I'm going to say, a badass.
Yeah.
She rescued 4 firemen from the fire.
Yes, when nobody would go in.
Nobody would go in.
Yeah.
And she was like, here, hold my beer, pulled up her skirt, and went out of the building. So she rescued 4 firemen until they were all out. I mean, her hair, I guess, was singed and burned off. Somebody finally ended up helping her. But yeah, she was pretty badass. And then she moved to Auburn and she started renting rooms for her and her girls. Obviously, she ended up with a brothel up here. She died up in Colfax, which is a little past Auburn. And it's a little strange because they don't exactly ever know what happened to her body.
Mm.
Dr. Todd was, I believe, the town mortician or, whatever, but her casket was empty and so is her grave.
Wow.
So they don't really ever know what happened, like if he sold her body, kept it,
Hmm.
what happened. Um, and she was pretty well off. So by the time she died, all of her money and things like that went to orphanages and old folks' home. And she even funded a school for Black children in Virginia. So she did a lot for the community. She rescued firefighters and, helped
Yeah.
the children and the elderly. I mean, the money came from a brothel, but hey, she's giving back to the community.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. And we do have audio from from the actors that I was able to pull. So she is one of the actresses that played her. I do have her audio, which I do want to play some of that in the same with Adolf, but I'll let you finish before we get into that.
You can play it. Do you want to play it now as we're going?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Spice it up.
Let's go ahead and do this.
Must be those folks who are interested in tales from beyond the grave. While you're here, why don't you stay a spell and I'll tell you my story. Story of the Fire Queen. But I wasn't born the Fire Queen. I was born Emily Edwards in Richmond, Virginia in 1825. Now back then, some folks said I was a quadroon, which meant I was 1/4 black. Other folks said I was mulatto, meaning half black. I kept them guessing. Once, while testifying in court, I told those folks I was direct descendant of Pocahontas. Well, at any rate, I traveled from Virginia to San Francisco in 1850, where I established a saloon, complete with dance hall and brothel. Now, I can tell by looking at you, many of you are indeed familiar with a saloon, some of you even a brothel. So I will thank you not to make any judgments about my moral character. I have no one to take care of me. A girl's got to make her way in the world, right?
And I will
Not
play
too long
this on
after
or
that, I met
post
your
this on
lives
YouTube.
with Hugh Casement bought me a fine home
I
in the
couldn't
city.
hear it. So
Oh,
And
you
with
can't
a
hear it?
businesswoman,
What's happening
I
right
put
now?
up a sign
Are you
outside
serious?
some milk punch
That's
drinks.
terrible.
My
That's terrible. Because if you can't hear it, that means they can't. Our Zoom YouTube listeners won't be able to hear it. But I'll merge the audio in. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But that's odd that you can't hear that. Just one other good thing from Zoom.
I know. Bring Skype back. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
We had it working correctly.
Yes, exactly.
We had it down to a
Flawless.
science.
Yes, a science. You are correct. Oh my God. Anyways, I was gonna send it to you, but you'll
I was there.
yeah,
I was there.
exactly. But and you'll see the post when it goes up. But amazing actress, amazing setting, the environment. I mean, it looks elegant. It's amazing, done extremely well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hers was really good. And that was the first time I'd seen her. She wasn't back in 2018. So
Yeah.
it was different.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
So
Oh, nice.
there were some of the same ones, but some new ones. So
Yeah. Cool.
and then so we do have two left, two probably the most famous in the area. So Rattlesnake Dick, he was born Richard Barter in 1833 up in Quebec. His father was an English colonel that died when he was 17. Then he moved to Corvallis, Oregon with his brother and his sister and cousin. Then they made it to Sweet Home, Oregon. And then they moved down to Rattlesnake Bar. They started doing their mining claims and things like that. He's pretty much a criminal the whole time. So he's accused of crimes and acquitted, accused of stealing horses, spent some time in San Quentin. But I don't think he did that one. I think the real thief confessed, but he was a criminal. So they were like, obviously it's probably him.
Yeah.
He moved to Shasta area, about 2 hours from here, 2-3 hours, changed his name. And then he became the criminal everyone said he was. So he kind of like embodied that and lived up and became Snake Dick. I mean, it went down to he stole some unbranded mules from a gold transport in Wairika, got caught, took what he could carry, buried what was left. He's known to have escaped every jail in Placer and Nevada counties. Escaped out of the Auburn jail. And I think it might have been related to the ambush that Boggs was a part of. So in 1859, he got ambushed, took 2 bullets. They found his body at the top of Lincoln Way, which is kind of up from the courthouse. If you're familiar with Auburn, it's where Rayleigh's is now. So, and they found his body, and he actually ended up just finishing himself off with his own gun. And he left a note that said, "Rattlesnake dies but never surrenders." So he went out on his own terms, like the criminal and bandit that he was. But yeah, the actor that portrays him is very captivating. So it's telling the whole story. He opens his
really good.
His jacket, and he's got the 2 bullet wounds, and it's just like it all comes to life. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's really good.
So yeah, he was escaping all the jails, and finally just got taken out by 2 bullets. So unfortunate for him, but I think that was one of Boggs's biggest things, was that he was part of that ambush and they got Rattlesnake Dick. So
yeah,
and our last spirit, probably the most well-known, that actually changed California law, is Adolph Julius Weber. He is born in 1884 in Auburn. His father was a German immigrant. His dad owned the Auburn Brewery, which you can still see. It's in ruins now. Remember where we parked our cars?
Yeah.
It was up over there. So it's just like, there's just like a stone that says like, this used to be the Auburn Brewery, and there's nothing there anymore.
Wow.
But nobody's done anything with it. Again, kind of like the stairs to nowhere. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
So Adolph was, I believe, the oldest of his siblings. He had a younger brother and a younger sister. His aunt's house, actually, you can still see it up on the hill from the courthouse, this kind of big white house. And it was very close to where the Weber house was, but it's still there and still standing today, the aunt's house. And it's very prominent. It's like, bright white. You can see it. So why is Adolph so well known? It all started with a robbery at the Placer County Bank on Commercial Street, which is Commercial Street still there. He starts in May of 1904. And everybody kind of knew it was him. There was like this vibe because he had like a big hat on, and pulled down, a fake beard, all this. And they were just like, the whole vibe there, like they knew it was him. They couldn't prove it, but it was just one of those things, like the town was like, fucking Adolph, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
However, obviously he doesn't seem to be very stable, because by November of that year, there was the first, I guess, mass murder in the state of California. His family house caught on fire. And when they began pulling his family out, his brother, his sister, his mother, they realized they all had bullet wounds. So it wasn't smoke inhalation, it wasn't they were burned. It was all bullet wounds. His younger sister, who was 2 years younger than him. Ooh, sorry, that's my dog. She was pulled out first. And then his baby brother, who was 9, he was 19 at the time, was pulled out, and he was still breathing. And I think he had like seizures or epilepsy, so he wasn't 100% mentally there. But he ended up passing away. Mom had bullet holes in her head and chest. They found his dad 3 days later in the back of the house with just 1 gunshot wound and a bunch of rifles next to him. So it almost seemed like maybe if they did find the bullet wounds, like if the whole house didn't burn down, he was trying to maybe pin it on the dad, because where was Adolph? Oh, he claimed he was in town getting a pineapple soda at the American Hotel. So like trying to have his alibi. And And the fire, I think, was at 7:42 p.m. And this town resident, May Clark, said she saw him walk by her house on Brewery Street at 6:45. So the time and place did not fit. He was not at the American Hotel with his pineapple soda the whole time.
Yeah.
But he had the whole thing where he ran in and, oh my God, my family, da 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 da, acting it all out. So he ended up at Folsom Prison. He was found guilty. He took his case all the way to the Supreme Court. And they ended up finding the money from the robbery at the bank in the barn.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So they knew, they're like, fucking Adolf,
Yeah.
So again, why is this important? It was like the first mass murder in California.
Yeah.
We didn't have things like that happen where people intentionally murdered several people. There were shootouts and, people dueling and stuff, but nothing like premeditated like this obviously was. And the law that changed was that you're not allowed to use your inheritance money for your court fees. So his whole family died. So he came into all the money from his dad and the brewery and all that he had. And then he was using all that money to pay his lawyer to get to the Supreme Court and all this stuff. So the law changed in California that if you murder or are being charged with murdering people you're inheriting money from, you can't use that money.
Yeah.
So, and he used all the money, mostly all of it. So he ended up at Folsom Prison because he was found guilty, even though it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And he was hung, and he died in September of 1906 from the original fire. He's supposedly buried in the cemetery, but there's no headstone, so they suspect if he's even buried there, but they didn't want to draw attention to him. So that's kind of why they said they didn't put it, but there's no real marked grave for him. So it's still under speculation if he's actually even there.
Yeah. Or under the courthouse.
Yeah. Or under the
On the
courthouse,
hill.
Yeah. Come on, So, no, they moved the courthouse way before that. So,
Oh, okay.
But I mean, they could have just thrown him somewhere.
Do you know where he would be located for the old cemetery?
He was not in the old cemetery. He's in the new one.
Oh, okay.
Based on the timeline. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because they moved the old cemetery a while, way before that. Yeah, because in 1911 is when they found the skeletons when they were doing the water main, and he died in 1906. So they'd already moved the cemetery for a while.
Got it.
But he's supposedly over in the new one on was it East Street or whatever.
Yeah, because that was in
just don't have it
1850
marked.
to 1852, and everything
Yeah.
after 1852 was in the new cemetery.
Yeah, so they I don't know, maybe if there's a cemetery curator or a
We might have to
caretaker,
go. We have
could
to.
be
We have to go.
where's Adolf?
Check
Do you
that
know? I want to do a little seance, maybe some K2 meters, EVPs. Let's see what's going on,
Oh, that's too funny. But yeah, no, we definitely have to go check that out. And I want to see it because we haven't. That's the one thing we didn't get a chance to do is see.
Right.
That cemetery.
And if you Google it or look at anything, all the headstones are very traditional old headstones, what you think of when you think of Halloween, just tall and with all the writing, and it's pretty elegant and nice to kind of see those and stuff. So whether there's bodies underneath them, we don't know. I mean, when we talk about our Sacramento ghost tour, it just seems like they don't seem to like to move bodies when they decide to move cemeteries. So
Costly is what they say.
They're nobody will know. We'll just move the headstones.
Exactly.
But I think isn't that the plot of Poltergeist though?
Yep.
That they built all the houses on it. Yeah.
Yep.
That sticks in my brain. That movie's my trauma from being
Oh,
a kid.
that was an amazing.
Remember my
movie, though.
dad letting me watch movies that weren't appropriate for
Yeah.
a 5-year-old. Yeah. All I think about.
Oh,
is all
you
the
were how
bodies and,
old
the
when
water.
that movie? When you watched that?
I don't
movie
know.
first?
I was 4 or 5.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's way too.
And watching Poltergeist. I remember Poltergeist 3 too, when they're floor of the parking structure. My dad's I love my dad, but he just was letting me watch whatever he was watching, and probably why I love paranormal
Yeah.
now, because I was exposed to it, but probably not the best. So
That's funny. But yet she's never had a paranormal experience, so interesting.
that I know of. Yeah, I know.
Yes, interesting.
We'll see. That's why I go on the ghost tours and stuff. I'm hoping. I mean, we'll talk about it when we do Sacramento, but we did see some things there that aren't explained. We didn't bring our K2 meters or anything on this one, but Maybe we could go walk around on our own and do a little investigating at night,
No,
and then go visit the cemetery.
You gotta watch out for the homeless people.
That's true. That's
the only thing.
True. It's true.
Oh man. But yeah, no, Auburn is an incredible town, very historical. A lot of the buildings are still there, from the way they were built, the concrete and stuff that was used. It's
brick. Yep.
Yeah, it's an amazing. And again, this is for, if you in the Midwest or in the South, there's a lot of those structures are still there. But in California, everything's trying to be modern or new and stuff. And these little towns that we have, especially in the mining areas up like in Placerville and all these places, they're amazing little towns, and people need to really check it out and pay homage to those buildings and those times, because man, it's incredible. Even as we were going through the museum and you were noting items that they were using for medical purposes, and we're like, are you serious? They were using this, and it's crazy that people were even able to survive medical procedures at those times and stuff. And so getting shot, you would think like, okay, I'm going to die of sepsis, or they can't get the bullet out, or all kind of stuff. So yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah. And you have to think, like, we're in California, so it's still like a baby state, like if you go to like you said, the East Coast or the South, there's a lot more history. It's been, the buildings and the structures have been around a lot longer.
Yeah.
I mean, what were we, 1840s, 1850s when it really started booming over here. So, that's only less than 200 years. And, there's places in Boston, all those places that, they've been around for a lot longer.
Exactly.
So you guys got a lot of more spooky things over there.
For sure.
We're still trying to acquire here. We don't have houses that are 150 years old, like on every corner in some of these towns. Most of it was destroyed or, didn't make it or wasn't around yet, just open area.
Exactly.
So we try to appreciate our little ghosty towns.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Do you think if you did a ghost investigation that you would catch anything in that town?
For sure.
You think so? Because it is lively. I mean, it is extremely lively. Small of a town and the area that it's in, like, it's a lot going on.
Well, because the freeway is like 10 feet away, like down the hill.
Yeah.
But I think it have to be like perfect circumstances of like maybe middle of the night on a weekday or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we were out on a Saturday night and there's, bars and stuff. So it's pretty loud and lively. There's breweries. Unless you went into one of like the stores and you kind of hung out, but I think if you're just walking around, maybe not.
Yeah.
So it would just depend. I don't know. I'd like to like maybe spend the night in the courthouse. I think that'd be fun.
I
don't think they'd let me do that, but
Yeah, but I don't know. Hopefully,
please let me stay. I just want to do a little ghost tour, like contact some spirits.
They say once you do it, you may not, you may regret it. So we'll see how the story unfolds. For sure.
I guess it'll be the race of who gets it first, me or Carolyn. So
Exactly. No, I think speaking of Carolyn, she's on Femme Fatale podcast. You guys should definitely check it out. But she just did because we had a guest on, Chelsea, and they kind of hit it off, and they wanted to do a true crimes podcast, and I was like, okay, cool, that's a great thing. And but Chelsea does like a paranormal podcast, and then so they just went and did like a big little tour on going to like Gettysburg and different places.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but Ed, who we have on our bonus show, he just moved to Pittsburgh, PA, and he wants us to come out and do like a ghost investigation in Gettysburg and all these other extremely haunted locations. And so
I love
more to come on that. And
field trips for Strange Darkness Radio.
Exactly. Creepy field trips. I mean,
poor Bobby. He's like, don't sign me up for this.
Exactly. But we shall see what happens. We shall see. So, any more about Auburn?
I don't think so. Anything else from you? I mean,
No, I think you covered everything. Did an amazing job of it, as usual.
I think it's a cute little town. You should come visit if you're here in October. Well, obviously, you'll have to get your tickets in August, but try to come to the tour.
You should. People should definitely go to the tour. The tour is
very
incredible, very well done. From the actors and actresses to the layout to the costumes, everything is done extremely well.
Do you remember the children that were kind of dressed up, walking around? And
children, yes.
We might have pictures of
I have
that.
a ton of pictures and videos that I will post. Yes. So
they have kids volunteer, like, I don't know, 8 to like 15 that are like dressed either period-ish or just like ghosty, like tattered clothes with their face painted white and stand next to you, and you're just like, holy crap. Like, yeah,
they will just stare at you the whole time, won't say anything.
Creepy. They're really good.
Yes, because they gave Marlee a couple stare downs, the females, really young good. Females, and they didn't even care. They're like, and then they'll just get in your face and be like,
Yeah, they were just like.
So, yeah, they were creepy.
So, yeah.
They were creepy.
I do, if they do it again, I think this was last year, 2024 was the first year they did it, but they have a stage show. They only had a couple shows. It was like in the beginning of October, but we should try to go to that and see what that's like. That was new, but yeah, go to the Auburn Ghost Tour Facebook page, like their page and get, ready for the announcements. I think in August is when the tickets go live, and they only sell so many tickets for each show. There's 2 shows a day, I think Friday, Saturday, and then it's only so many weekends in October. So it's pretty, small amount of tickets. Like I said, it sells out pretty quick. I think Bobby and I were both trying to get tickets at the same time, and I'm like, I got my 5, and he's like, I'm sold out, and I'm like, all right, I got them. So
that was cool.
Yeah, I totally recommend. And just go around and go to some of the breweries and restaurants. It's all good food, and it's a cute little place. The first floor of the courthouse kind of has like a little museum in it, so you can go look at some things, not the stuff we saw, because we saw some pretty cool stuff, but just kind of the Placer County Museum. There's a lot of artifacts in there. It's pretty neat, so I recommend you just going through and walking around. It's like Bobby said, it's a small loop, and there's just a lot of history in it. So
definitely. All right, well, that is our podcast for tonight, the Auburn Haunted Ghost Tour or Auburn Ghost Tour. You be the judge, but I think it's haunted, and I think it's amazing. You guys definitely go check it out.
Definitely. All right, y'all have a good night. We'll see you on the next pod.
Ethel, do you know where you are? My body! You have passed over. You died. No. Everything, my body, look at it. What an excellent day for an exorcism.